And Dave Sussman back with you at American Freedom Alliance, and I'm delighted to be joined with Michael Walsh. Michael Walsh returning to the show, the author of The Devil's Pleasure Palace and Fiery Angel, two amazing books. One of the things I wanted to ask you was in the couple of years, I mean, Fiery Angel just came out, but any addendums that you were talking about what's going on in our culture, you talk about the march through the institutions.
Yes, well, I'd say it's worse than ever. In one sense, it's worse than ever that the preponderance of leftist thought in academia, politics, and everywhere else is so strong that the culture keeps shifting to the left no matter how much we fight back against it. But we are fighting back, which is the good news. And both of these books have been, I hope, helpful in the cause of Western civilization, which itself is now being demonized. So that if you defend Western civilization, you're now defending, according to the left, white privilege, white nationalism, alt-right racialism. These people just are relentless in their desire to tear down good and decent people who are trying to defend something that means something to them and has meant something to this culture for 3,500 years. I would say the burden's on them to prove that we're wrong, but we are now in the position of having to fight them tooth and nail.
How do you do that fight, Michael? Because, I mean, you can stand up today and even they're calling Louis Farrakhan right-wing now just to justify people getting kicked off of Facebook.
Well, remember that stupidity is often the explanation more than malevolence. And I would bet that the people that put Farrakhan in there, they saw all the other so-called alt-right right-wingers and said, well, he must be one of them too, because after all, they've lumped him in with this ban. But they just don't know anything, David. They're just so stupid. They don't read. They have no sense of history. They have no sense of the past. Every day begins anew with them. They're like a dog or like a computer. You shut it down, start it up, it starts all over again.
Yeah.
It's very depressing because, as I mentioned in my talk today, the left has tried to cut us off from the well springs of our history and our knowledge and our culture. And I mean culture in the broadest, highest sense of poetry, art, music, architecture.
Which you go into a lot in your books.
Oh, a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. And one of the people here today just said, "Oh, if these books were taught in every high school in America, boy, in a few years we'd see a big difference." And
the titles are opera-based, right?
they are actually. Both titles are operas.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to get Devil and Angel, the good and bad senses of human nature.
Yeah.
The fact that, as I just said a few minutes ago inside, we know good by evil. You must know evil in order to understand what's good. We are no longer in a prelapsarian state of innocence where everything is good.
Right.
We now know what we're up against and we have to fight it.
Right. So from the standpoint of moving forward, you look at it from an academic, you look at it from a social and a cultural standpoint. Where are we moving towards right now as a culture and a society?
It's kind of hard for me to say because I'm spending half the year in Europe now at my house in Ireland, or as much as I can. And there I try to just drop out from the argumentation. I'm writing a new book now on military history, so I really owe that to my publisher to focus it completely.
Right.
What I see is the left has one fatal flaw, like Satan. They can't resist gloating over their own evil. So when they win, they reveal to everybody who they actually are.
Yeah.
And what we've seen now is that the hatred directed towards the President of the United States is just stunning. And they have normalized it in mainstream. It's patriotic to hate the President of the United States. It's patriotic to hate the Constitution. Patriotic to hate the country it was founded. And after a while, decent Americans go, you're crazy. And worse, you're evil.
Yeah.
And that's how Trump beat Hillary. And let's hope that continues, despite all of the onslaughts against him and what he stands for. If we can beat him again the next time, we're going to be in good shape.
Last question for you. You used to be a movie critic?
No, music critic.
Music critic,
yes.
Okay, but you talk a lot about movies and culture, especially in your books.
I'm a Hollywood screenwriter.
And you're a screenwriter. I mean, one of the most fascinating chapters in one of the last two books was you were talking about the Manchurian Candidate, and Frank Sinatra on the train, and Janet Leigh.
The love scene there. Yeah.
Okay, talk about the state of movies today. We talk about tent poles versus, the...
I would say the state of the movies is not good. The superhero genre has eaten every bit of the entertainment dollar.
Right.
They've eaten production money.
Yeah.
They're now a completely self-referential world that's just metastasizing. At the same time, the real dramas aren't getting made. romantic comedies aren't romantic or even comedy anymore.
Right.
The fact that Disney just bought Fox means there's one less studio for us to sell into.
Yeah.
So that while television is expanding writers' opportunities, the movie business itself is contracting. And it's when you look back on it from history, you'll see that what did it was Jaws and Star Wars. And that those two movies, neither of which was expected to be a hit when they came out.
Yeah.
And Jaws was, the movie press was ecstatic about how over budget it was, and this is going to finish off Spielberg and all the.
Right.
Well, in fact, that was the tentpole, the summer blockbuster, and then Star Wars is the franchise, and it's continued since the 70s. And I think that's not good for the art, but we hope that the television can pick up some of that slack.
And they certainly are trying. There's a lot of content that's out there. Michael, are you working on another book?
Yes, I'm working on a book on military history.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I can't really talk about it too much right now, but it's taken up a lot of my time for the last 6 to 8 months, and I'll keep working on it all summer.
Well, it will be fascinating if it's anything like the last couple of books.
Well, it's going to be called Last Stands, and
Okay.
it's an examination of famous last stands throughout history.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so starting with the Greeks at Thermopylae and going up through the Marines at the Chosin.
Oh, I can't wait.
Reservoir.
That sounds amazing.
And it's all about how so many things are similar, they share certain traits in common, and it's really about toxic masculinity and why we need it.
Thanks. Where can folks find you?
Nowhere.
You're on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter.
Okay.
At the moment, I'm not blogging anymore.
Okay.
I just have way too much to do. So I'm kind of, I'm working on a website, so I'll get my own website up pretty soon. But follow me on Twitter, D. Kahane Rules, like David Kahane Rules, and I'm on Facebook.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it,
Good
and we'll
to see
see
you,
you again
David.
soon.
Okay, thank
we'll be
you.
right back.